Hey fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. If you are watching real time, that's because you're either a Patreon subscriber, and thank you very much for that, or you're a YouTube subscriber, thank you very much for that. If you're not doing either of those, then you're getting this content a week late, and that's because I insist that we make sure it's accessible to everybody. One thing you can do if you are a subscriber or you are not a subscriber, no matter what, please try to remember to link your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account. Amazon will pay us if you do that. The instructions are in the show description below. Easy to do. It costs you nothing. I promise. You're already paying for it, but that's kind of the lifeblood of this program. We can stay in business. Shane can afford to keep coming out here and filming these things if you guys remember to just link those two accounts. So please read the show description below. Read the instructions on how to link your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account. We've seen a drop off in those numbers that's not commensurate with our viewership. So if you're watching this, please just pause for a second, look at the show description and click, and that'll get Shane a little bit of extra juice to keep this show being produced.
This episode of Pachter Factor is brought to you by DeShazer Ryan Realty. Right now, Doug DeShazer has beautiful lots available adjacent to Koocanusa Lake in northwest Montana. Pull up your RV and access the hookups, or build your own construction. Either way, you have access to world-class fishing, hunting, boating, swimming, biking, hiking, and the internet. No matter where you're looking to buy, make Doug DeShazer your real estate consultant at 406-291-1643. That's Doug DeShazer at 406-291-1643.
From Patreon, from Tarma, Sega's game as a service Hyenas was recently canceled just before release. And Tim Sweeney claims Fortnite player spending and engagement dipped last year. PlayStation recently stated that it wants to launch 10 games as a service by 2026. And there are other companies making these games as well. Will the market for these kind of games be strong going forward? Could PlayStation have made a colossal mistake putting so many eggs in this basket? Wow, a lot there. The answer is that the cost to make games is higher every year. And it's because the game companies know that you expect improvement every year. You expect better and better, production value. You expect higher frame rates, better art, more interesting gameplay. They can't just keep remastering, Summoner or Saints Row. The stakes are high. I think that the live service model, you've got to build a different game. You've got to build a game that people want to keep coming back to and keep playing, and that's expensive. I'd say, think World of Warcraft. Think how many dollars have been poured into that game's development. It constantly evolves. It's coming up on its 20th anniversary next year, and it's not the same game. They brought back WoW Classic because people want to play the old stuff. Having a game evolve, look at Call of Duty, look at Madden, have the game evolve from edition to edition. It's crazy how much they change. So I think that, Sega's generally a pretty bad company, but I think they were overly ambitious, and I think it wasn't up to what they needed to do to be competitive in the marketplace. So that's why they cancel it. Fortnite player spending and engagement dipping, nothing goes up forever, right? I haven't looked at McDonald's or Starbucks in a while, but I would bet that McDonald's, plain hamburger sales dipped last year. And they're making up money by selling more beverages and more salads and more crispy chicken sandwiches than they are selling more burgers. I think it's hard to have the same product over and over and over again and expect it to grow every year. And Fortnite, in fairness, it changes and it evolves, but there's new characters, there's new outfits, there's new things to do, but Fortnite's largely a social, experience. So, I think it's perfectly fine if Fortnite levels off at $3 billion a year in perpetuity. Don't shed a tear for Tim Sweeney. But in fairness, I expect that they will evolve. I think they'll come up with more things to do, more concerts, more let's watch movies together, let's do homework after school together. They'll figure it out. Sony, I think, is pretty ambitious trying to launch games as a service. They haven't done a great job of it in the past. It's something that is an art. It takes a while to get it right. I have to tell you, I was really surprised Apex Legends was good. And I was more surprised when it dipped after its first year that it rebounded. So Apex Legends went from 350 million or so its first year in revenue to down, and then doubled the next year, and then went up by 300 million the next year. So, it's because the guys who made it figured out what it takes to engage players and monetize. I think it's hard. And it's amazing to me that League of Legends is still, chugging along. It's amazing to me that Clash of Clans and Clash Royale are still chugging along. Candy Crush is still chugging along. So, the payoff is if you get it right, you make $2 billion a year from Candy Crush. And if you blow it, then you don't. Can Sony figure that out? I don't know. We're going to find out, aren't we? So, did they make a colossal mistake? Let's watch and see how these first several games go. My expectation is if they hit on 2 or 3 out of 10, then they're going to make plenty of money. I will say, buying Bungie makes me more confident that they'll get it right, just because Bungie's had success in the past. And, again, I know people who play Overwatch every day who just haven't spent money in a year or two. Bungie knows how to do it, so it'll be really interesting to watch. Anyway, I think that the games business is like the filmed entertainment business. There will always be a place for the self-contained movie, and that'll be the self-contained $70 game that has a beginning, middle, and end, and you finish it after 20 hours or 30 or 40. There will always be a place for the TV series that goes on and on and on until people get tired of it, and that's games that are live as a service. They keep going, and you keep coming back as long as they keep your interest. And when they lose your interest, then they have to cancel the TV series. They'll cancel the live service game. So, the goal is to keep people coming back for 10 years or more. And League of Legends and Clash of Clans and World of Tanks have managed to do that. And Candy Crush has managed to do that. So let's hope that Sony figures it out. Is it a mistake? Interesting to watch the console makers. Nintendo is blissfully happy continuing to make console games and have their proprietary content on their proprietary console. Microsoft is going the other way and rolling toward streaming and no console required, and Sony's in between. So who's right? I think Microsoft's right, but Sony might be right too. We'll find out. Again, appreciate your patronage if you're a Patreon patron. Thank you for contributing there. If you're a YouTube subscriber, thank you, and a special thanks to any of you who took my advice at the beginning of the episode and clicked through on the show description and linked to your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. Amazon pays SIFTD a couple of bucks a month for your putting that together, but you've got to renew it. So if you haven't done it in a while, please click through. Please, please, please. It's easy to do. I promise it costs you nothing. And Amazon, it costs them something. But they'll pass it on to somebody who's spending a lot of money on the website, like me. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time.